Hello there, this is Horatio Gallegos with Digital Assets Factory, and I help high stakes attorneys and law offices transform their reputation online as well as their image. So, as you may have read, depending on where you came from, chances are you connected with me here on LinkedIn. Our clients typically do not need more traffic, leads, and more business generated through digital marketing, but do want and do need to have an accurate representation of their image and their results, their real life results, and how to communicate that to people and organizations researching for them online at this current time. So often we see two sides of a spectrum in legal practices. One is more transactional side, DUI law, personal injury, immigration, and other transactional services, those that require more digital marketing, and then the practices that require more of a reputation management for those that are actually researching for them and doing some background research in Google, on the web, looking at past successes, results, etc. And we usually find that it comes down to the people that are searching are either high-profile individual and client prospects, corporate client prospects, potential partners, potential co-counsel in a specific case, and top-level law school students researching the best firms for employment. So we believe that we found that that these searches typically occur in the later stages of the research. Perhaps it's down to 2 or 3 law firms that have shown amazing results in a specific type of case, and that corporate client or that B2B client is now researching and making their final decisions, and will go to Google to then go deeper into each of these law firms. So in this short presentation, what I want to do is I want to show you live what firms are doing wrong. Most firms are doing wrong in this field, in the high stakes area of law, to manage a reputation and how we can change that. Essentially, what I want to answer for you is how do you, as a partner in your firm, put your best foot forward and leverage the real world victories and case results that you've had to maximize your impact and appeal to your audience. How do we go about doing that step by step? So let's go specifically into a couple of some firms here. Now what I did is I just went to the best US News and World Report and ranked some of the best high stakes law firms. So this is in no particular order. Just picked a couple, and one is Morgan Lewis. Okay, so Morgan Lewis, when you do some research, I'm going to show you some of the results that appear here. And why do we want to maximize page 1 of Google and what information we communicate? Well, studies have shown consistently that people, 72 to 75% of people never scroll past page 1. So everything that we show our audience or our users, we want to communicate here in this first page of Google. Until that happens, this is where the magic happens. This is where we're going to get our impact. So if you see Morgan Lewis, they have their website, of course, appears in the top position. Wiki article, which is good. This is always part of our strategy, is to create a wiki article, Wikipedia, if one has not been created. LinkedIn is good, and then you start getting into some of these listings that are really don't serve any value for the organization. This vault page says information is no longer available, so when I click it, I'm sorry, never mind. It is available, but when you go in there, you realize, and I will click on it in a second, that the information there is not communicating the right message and the right image to the audience. Glassdoor reviews, so this is based on employment information. This rating is not good. You don't want to show that there. You don't even want to show a Glassdoor listing. Most likely, you want to showcase your law firm. This would be something that you want to appear if somebody's actually looking Morgan Lewis employment, Morgan Lewis positions open, or whatever that may look like. But you certainly don't want to put them here when people are searching for your firm. Lexology, this is another. I'm going to click on it here just to show you. It's not something that is going to sell or close the deal at the end when people are searching for you. Okay, so let's go to another firm and give you an example. Let's look at another firm, Ballard Spahr. Let's look at their listings and what they've done right. Obviously, their website appears here, their Wikipedia page, their LinkedIn, and then we start to get the listings that again are relevant. Indeed, which is an employment site. Ballardspar LP. This is a review, and we're going to look at it in a second. Once again, Glassdoor, bad rating. And then you've got a Twitter account. Now, let's look at this Twitter account. Let's see what's the value in sending people here. If somebody shows up here to your Twitter account and there's absolutely no engagement, no likes, no comments, that means that this is probably not a quote unquote profitable in any way channel for this law firm. So let's go back to listings. These need to be filled up with case wins, with awards, with recognitions, with articles written by Wall Street Journal, Fortune, whatever it may be, on a specific case, on an appeal. This is where you showcase and you stand above the one or two other firms that are being considered for this particular case. Let me go on to another. Sussman Godfrey is another example. So they did a pretty good job at the beginning. You know, they got their Wikipedia, and then they start getting again to the Glassdoor, above the law. Then they have two interesting articles here. One about they've changed the retirement policy to 100, essentially to not have a retirement policy. And then here about starting pay for associates. Now, perhaps they wanted those in there, but I'm willing to bet it was just a chance of how this happened. And it may not be the best two articles for this firm. I don't know, but I'm thinking that this could probably be filled with more powerful information. If you look at on page 2, this is a great article. Now you see the Law Dragon always does great articles. They do a big picture in the front, very highlighted, really nicely done. Partner stories, case story, everything is very well done. This is an article that should always be on page 1 of Google. It portrays a great image, very professional, and it's well written. Okay, you've also got a couple of great ones here from Forbes that need to be on page 1. This is the stuff that's powerful, that can help a firm, that can give it even more recognition. I realize Sussman Godfrey perhaps doesn't quote unquote need the additional fame, but it certainly doesn't hurt to put your best foot forward. Let me go to the next one. What I'd like to show you quickly, here's what we've done with one of our clients, ReconsCy. We've been able to obviously rank their website and their Wikipedia as expected, and LinkedIn in the top 3 positions. LinkedIn was actually in the number 10 position when we took over. Now, one thing here that is different from any other firm that you'll see is that we actually have a video ranked on the first page. This is a great video from a news story in San Antonio about some pro bono work that the firm did that obviously was for a great cause and helped somebody out. And this was a nice blend to a story that's the real life events that are happening. How do we portray this here on Google? We also have a nice Law Dragon on page 1, as I mentioned to you before. Really nicely done, communicated. This is the type of material that you want on page 1. Now I'm going to show you page 2 and what we're doing here as things evolve. So you see that on page 2, as new stories come up, we constantly refresh the listings on page 1 by powering up these listings on page 2. For example, this is a recent award or a group of awards. Here's in recognition from benchmark litigation. This is from October 2018. So obviously it takes a few months for us to do our work and rank it back to page 1. But this is a very, very nicely condensed article of awards, of judgment wins, of just this is the type of information that you want to portray to your customers. Now this, because it's just published, it's on page 2, working on getting that to page 1. The next question that we get a lot after presenting this information is really, are people actually researching my firm, and how do I know that? Well, we always look at that before we take on an assignment, and we rely on the Google Keyword Planner tool. I'm just going to give you an example. Sussman Godfrey, right now, Google is telling us that they get 5,000 monthly searches for their name, 5,000 per month, plus different derivatives of that name. Sussman Godfrey LLP, that's 500. This is a range, so it's an average of 500. Sussman, 5,000. Godfrey's Law, 500. So you see how these add up. I'm just going to give you one more firm, just so you know that this is not unique to Sussman. Okay, so here's another firm. They get 5,000 a month as well, plus another 5,000 in this related keyword. So that's a minimum of 10,000 searches per month coming in for this law firm. Are we presenting the best information to these 10,000 people that are looking for the firm? This has a lot of relevance. You can see Ballard Spahr is actually paying $4.77 per click just to get people, because they're not getting the right results. They're actually paying people. This is an average bid for advertising. Like, they're actually advertising on Google just to appear, just for the right information to appear at the forefront, right? So you should own the first page of Google without having to pay for it. Obviously, you need to make an investment to get things to a certain point, but after that, the results should be organic, and this is how we send Google signals. I'm going to cover that in just a second. So how do we do this? How do we enhance and control our Google presence and own our first page of Google? We do this through 3 types of web properties. One, those that you own and fully control. That's your website, your Google My Business profile, which is the information that comes out on the right-hand side, and your social media profiles like Facebook and LinkedIn. We can control those. We control the profiles, and then we can optimize them for them to appear at the top. Then there's number 2, the ones you own partially. Wikipedia. You own it, you create it, you write it, but you have to do it under their guidelines. You have to not sound too promotional, or you get your Wikipedia deleted. That's happened to us when a certain law firm wanted to get too promotional, and we advised against it, and we had to get it reinstated, and it took some work, but we were able to do it. So there's a method to doing Wikipedia and doing it right. And once you get it there, it will usually be in the number 2 spot. Then we've got a law firm directories profile like Chambers, U.S. News and World Report. We always want to have 1 or 2 of those in the mix, but we want to have those profiles complete and showcasing our best work. And then there's those that you do not control at all. These are the awards, the articles, the community service, the press releases. While we don't control the content of those, other than press releases, we can control the power that we send from outside into those articles, sending Google the signal that these are the most relevant listings that should be displayed. So now, how do we get this? How do we get these all to come to the first page? Well, I'm going to just tell you my formula. If you have a team that is ready, willing, and able to execute on this strategy, go ahead and take it. If not, perhaps we can help you with it. But here's what we do. We have a system, a hybrid of SEO, which is search engine optimization, and you know what that is. It's basically ranking a website for certain terms, and it's more of an application of real human behavior patterns to send Google the signals. So we create social media profiles for each of those listings that you saw, even if they're press releases, even if they're social media profiles, even if they're articles and recognitions. All of these create their own identity through social media profiles. So you can see this ends up being in the hundreds. We send real human search traffic to each of these web properties, to each of these listings, to show Google. If people are searching for Arent Fox, this is what you want to display. It is real. These are not robots. These are real humans that we use. Then we have real human social sharing. So they share some of these in social media, and this is actually what powers up. Again, is very important as part of an SEO strategy. And then we do our traditional SEO, which is creating content outside and pointing back to each of these websites. And then we repeat for 8 or 9 months until everything sticks. That's how we do it. So right now you may be asking for, will this work for my firm? Do I have enough web presence? Do I have enough articles and recognition? So while our formula will work for most firms, we need to run a detailed analysis to kind of determine what your web presence is at this certain time, what kind of resources are required, what kind of time. We've narrowed it down. It typically takes about 8 or 9 months, but this is something that we need to research. If we take on an assignment and if it's a good match, we will fill up page 1. We'll guarantee that with your chosen web properties, or we will just keep doing that until that happens. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is to invite you to schedule a free strategy session with me. Well, what you'll do is just fill out, it'll take about 30 seconds to fill out just your URL information, and I will do the research. My team and I will do the research before our meeting, our 15-minute meeting, so we can make the best use of your time, of your team, of your partners, and we can determine if it's a good fit. So I invite you once again, look for the link below, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're watching this on LinkedIn. There will be a link below with a strategy session. Click on it. I will do the research. My team and I will be ready for your phone call, and we will quickly decide together if this could be a good fit and if we could help you out. Thank you for listening, and look forward to connecting soon. Take care.